One of the most common questions that people ask me is, what apps do I like to use in speech therapy? And while there are a lot of really great apps out there, I think it's more important not what apps you're using, but the way that you use those apps to work on speech and language goals. Woo! What I want to talk to you today is about how to use apps that you already have or new apps that you might find to work on speech and language goals at home. So the most important thing to do is to make sure that whenever you're using a device like an iPad or your phone or a tablet, don't just hand off the device to your child and walk away and assume that all the learning happens just because your child is using an educational app. While there might be some learning that occurs that way, the most learning will occur when you sit and interact and partake in using that app with your child. So make sure you're an active part of the learning process. When you're choosing apps, keep your child's goals in the back of your mind and think about apps that might be better able to support those goals. So for example, if your child is working on a speech sound like S, maybe you're going to choose an app that has lots of pictures of items beginning with S. If you are beginning to work on language skills, when you choose apps, you might choose one that allows for more open-ended things to occur. So one of the apps that I like to use for language is called My PlayHome. And there is a light version, which is this one, and some paid versions as well. But I like the light version because it's free and it offers you a pretty blank slate. You can kind of see two different rooms in a house. And when I use this app, what I like to do is do a lot of modeling. And when I model, what I mean is just talking about the things in the picture and providing a model of the language that the child is working on. So for example, if we're talking about pronouns, and any app that has people you can use to talk about pronouns, I'm going to say, she is sitting on the chair. And I might pull down the boy and say, he is watching TV, or he is feeding the fish. Just talking is providing a model as long as you're using the correct grammar and speech sounds while you're talking. Other things that you can do with apps like this, or any app that you have, is you can ask your child to name things. So you might name things in this room. You might talk about, here's an apple. It's kind of hard to see, but there's an apple. So you could talk about, what do you do with an apple? Oh, you eat an apple. Is there anything else in this room that you could eat? Where would you go to eat things? So ask some questions about the things you see. And the third thing that you can do with apps is practice following directions. And you could do this so many different ways. It could be a simple direction like turn on the TV, and the child touches the TV. Or close the drapes. And in this app, when you do that, it turns to nighttime. And that's a little easier to see too. Or it could be put the boy next to the table. So that's a direction that includes a preposition. Or find something blue. Here's something blue. So apps are great for following directions. You can model tons of different language, and you can talk about everything that you see and ask lots of questions. A lot of times when using apps and you are talking and asking your child to do things, they may not be ready to stop what they're doing and engage in some learning. And that's really common. So what I just suggest you do is, in that instance, if your child doesn't follow your direction right away, just take the device from them gently and show them on the device what you want them to do. And you can stop there, or you can even take their hand and help them do it too, so that they understand what you're asking them to do. So if you have other questions about how to use apps, or if you would like specific recommendations or tips for using certain apps, please feel free to reach out, and have a great week.